Hi there, Nate Urandi, Orion Training Systems. Very cool shirt, Ronde van Vlaanderen, RVV Cyclo. Buddy of mine, best friend Andy Johnson and I did this last year. We also did Roubaix the weekend after and took in both pro races as well. If this is something that you've ever thought about doing, highly recommend it. Fantastic experience. Belgium is incredible, and I really hope I can do it again someday. What's interesting is that a recent video that I posted called Burden of Proof really struck a nerve. A buddy of mine reposted it on Facebook, and I got completely skewered by the vast majority of respondents. In short, the video was about Froome not to be believed in absence of his pedigree. Neither are Masters athletes, for that matter, who previously also showed an absence of pedigree. Pro and Master athletes cannot be assumed innocent until proven guilty. It's a fact. Whether or not an athlete dopes falls on a continuum of probability from 0% to 100%. And the only probability we can never confirm is 0%, right? So what's interesting is that in getting completely skewered by these people, and there were some people who were positive, but I would say it was probably 85-15 percentile, 85, skewering me, and 15% standing up for me, if you want to think of it that way. But in any case, the people who took exception to what I said seemed to fall into one of two buckets. Either one, they were fellow Masters athletes, and therefore they took the examples I provided personally, like I was creating a personal affront against them, like I knew their names and knew who they were and therefore was pointing a finger directly at them. Or two, they decided to take personal pot shots at me, like not my belief, but like me as a person and athlete. And just to be clear, in this case, this is like water off a duck's back. I really don't care. My heart rate didn't go up a beat and my blood pressure didn't go up a point. I'm not going to lose any sleep. I really don't care whether people agree with me or not. But what I really like is the fact that I did strike a nerve, because this is a big topic. So let's move on. The IAAF World Championship, Track and Field World Championships is happening right now in London, and it's been quite a soap opera so far. A number of years ago, when Justin Gatlin came back from his extended ban, Usain Bolt and he were juxtaposed immediately as good versus evil, and that storyline has persisted over a number of years. So as soon as that good versus evil was done, it was only a matter of time before the narrative took a what some people are saying took a terrible turn for Seb Coe and company. And that's when Gatlin finally beat Bolt in a championship event. And the fact that it happened in Bolt's swan song, farewell, fairy tale event, being his last race ever, it's like soap opera writers on TV couldn't have written a better script. And what's interesting is that, you can't for a moment think that Gatlin is clean. If you remember the 0% to 100% thing, if there's a number of athletes that are doping and he's had a suspect past, you just can't put him at the top rung and think that he's gone clean. So the snowball from that and the changing of when the medal ceremony is, it was farcical. It was entertaining, to say the least. Then you have Ayana, who wins the women's 10,000 meter final. And since the Olympics last year, which she also won, she's done zero racing. She trains in Ethiopia, which we already know, she's Ethiopian, but she trains there, and we already know for a fact that Ethiopia lacks out of competition dope testing. yet she annihilates the field, almost laps the entire field. Like, second place was 45 seconds behind. Then don't even get me started on Mo Farah. Then we get to Jenny Simpson, fantastic U.S. runner who medals in yet another 1,500 meter championship event. She got second. And it was an odd, dynamic, edge of your seat type of race. It was really quite entertaining. Some suspect strategies and tactics by some of the runners, but hey, that's what makes it so dynamic and entertaining to watch, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. But I loved her post-race interview, especially her elation at medaling while stating that she beat dopers because there are in fact dopers in the event. Like, that takes us back full circle to my burden of proof video. You know, in an anonymous world-class athlete survey, I believe it was after the Rio Olympics, but don't hold me to that. It pegs that those world-class athletes who dope at 40 to 60%. So let's call it half conservatively. This is precisely why the burden of proof must be on the athletes. And when you look at what also was taken exception was, the example I posed about if an athlete's truly clean and vociferous about being clean, he or she would say, test me every single day. I don't care. Every single day I will open myself up to that. And the comments were, well, there's no way to be tested every day, so it's an empty stance. Well, it's not an empty stance. What's an empty stance is saying, I've never tested positive. So change the narrative, make it more emphatic. Tell people to pull back the veil, pull up the rug, look under the bed, whatever metaphor you want to use, because you're not going to shy away from this. We've heard the story before about not testing positive. Change it, make it dynamic, make it something that will stand the test of time. And so Jenny Simpson's stance was awesome. It was refreshing. It was different. And that's why she can be believed. So I'll leave you with that. As always, leave your comments below and happy training.